Right, 10 seconds. Alright, so go ahead and put your notes or your spiral to the side. We're going to come back to it. I'm going to have you guys just fill in 2 more things before we do these together, and I can give you all participation points. Okay, so this is on your worksheet. So the parent function of a quadratic, who can remember what it is?
X squared.
X squared. There you go. So y equals x squared. This is going to go in your first underlined blank spot. So any movement on the graph is called a transformation. So, of course, transformation. I can't multitask. Of course, math is about numbers, but vocabulary is also an important thing. So, the word transformation. Think about how you guys looked and acted when you guys were in 6th grade. Think about how you are now. That's a transformation. Transformation is any change, anything that happens, whether it's big or small. Any alteration is called a transformation. I know I changed a lot in 6th grade.
Tell me about
Right. Okay, so transformation is what we're going to put in that first one. So I want you guys to look at your notes that you just wrote. I'm going to call Popsicle Sticks and see who actually did it and who didn't. Okay, so we don't have that number. Or that one.
Or that one.
Or that one. All right, so Isaac, what does the A value mean? Tell me the first thing you wrote down for X, the first word. For A. Huh? Flip. Okay, so we're going to write a fancier word instead of flip. We're going to write the word reflected. So reflected, the only time our graph is going to be reflected is when it's a negative. And we'll see examples of that. Thank you, Isaac. All right. Daisy, what's the other thing that happens with our A value? We already said that.
Oh, widens.
Widens or?
Narrow.
Narrower. It's a lot of R's and stuff. Okay, so it's either reflected or it becomes wider or narrower. Thank you, Daisy. She got so upset when I called her just now. Amanda, what does our H do? What's the H value mean? There you go. So the H value makes it shift to the left or the right. And then Zabrion, what happens with our K? What does K mean?
It shifts up and down.
There we go. So it's going to shift either up or down. So those are the different things that can happen when it comes to transforming. And we're going to look at one example together. I'll show you guys my hand on the graph, and then I'll have y'all do a couple on the whiteboard before doing practice. Okay, so the first example is written on your paper. It's right beside all of this. I'm just going to make it a little bigger. All right, so we're going to do it by hand first, and then after we do it by hand, we're going to do it in the calculator. So when something is transforming, thank you, you need to look at your 3 letters. What are the 3 letters again?
A, H, and K.
Okay, so your A, your H, and your K. So your A, there are 2 things that can happen. Our A is -2. So if it's negative, what does negative mean? What did y'all write down?
You got a negative.
Reflect. So does this have a negative?
Yes.
Yes, so the first transformation is that our graph is going to flip upside down. So we're going to use the word reflect. It's a fancier way of saying it, but it's reflected over the x-axis. That's the first thing that happens. All right, so our number is what? It's a negative what?
2.
Okay, so the bigger the number, what happens to our graph?
The
smaller the graph. Exactly. So the bigger the number, the smaller the graph. So I'm going to use an eraser. So when I talk about being bigger, I'm thinking about like throwing it higher. So, can you catch?
I can.
Yes. Okay, so I'm throwing it. This is me throwing it to make it bigger. So the higher I throw, is my arc like really wide or is it really narrow?
Really narrow.
Really narrow because I'm trying to throw it so it's bigger. So the bigger the number, the more narrow the graph. The smaller, you got it? You want me to throw it here? Okay, so is it going to be, do you think it's going to be narrow or is it going to be wider? It's going to be wider. Wider because I'm throwing it further. So that one was a little wider. We're only doing 2. So the bigger the number, I'm trying to make it bigger. It'll look like that. The smaller the number, it's going to look more like that. So if you have to use that as an example, feel free. Can you pass it back to me? Oh Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, so the first thing is that it's reflected. So the bigger the number, the what the graph?
The bigger the thing.
The bigger the number,
The smaller
the graph. So it's going to be more
smaller
narrow.
it is, the bigger it is.
Yeah, they're opposite. There you go. All right, so reflected, it says narrow. A lot of R's. Okay, so our H value, the way that we're going to be able to tell if it moves up or down is we have to first find our vertex. So, what's the coordinate for our vertex?
Negative 2.
Four.
Negative 4.
What type of 4?
Negative 4.
Positive.
It's a
Positive 4. Only time it's negative is if this is negative. This is positive. Because 2 negatives make a positive. Because this is not, it just stays as a regular 4. And then what's our Y value?
Positive 3.
Positive 3. Okay, so since these are both positive, if we think about a number line, where are positive numbers, left or right?
Right.
Okay, and negatives over here. So since this is positive, is it moving to the left
It's
or
moving
to
to
the
the
right?
right.
It's moving to the right. So the first thing is that it shifts to the right 4 units. And then up. Why is it up? There you go. And then it goes up 3 units. And that's how we would do it by hand. It's really not. It actually makes your life a lot easier. It shifts up 3 units. Alright, so Linnea thinks it's a lot, so what we'll do is show you guys how to do it.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do, everyone has their calculator? You know, because we're not tired either, late class. So the first thing we're going to do is graph the parent function. So I want everyone to go to the home button, and we're going to start over, go to new document, and then we press no, and then we're going to go to our graph. So the parent function is what, Nancy? X squared. So we're going to type the letter X, and then the squared button, which is to the right of the number 4, and then we're going to press enter.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Thank you. To the left of the number 4. There's nothing to the right. That's here. Okay, so once you got it, can you just hold up your graph to show me that you know what X squared looks like? Press enter.
Did you say X squared?
Just regular X squared. We're just graphing the parent function. Alright, so wait for one person in this row. Just X squared. Just X squared. That's it. Beautiful. Okay. Medina, what you doing?
I got 2. You got
it.
Excellent. Y'all good? Good. Come back. Good. Y'all can see?
Oh, okay.
Okay, go. Okay, so you should have an X squared graph. So that's our parent function. We want to see how it changes. So how do we get a new function? What do we press? Tab. Okay, so when you're pressing tab, I know it's a lot to type in, but you're going to type in literally the entire thing. So we're going to start. Do we type Y equals? No. No, so pretend this doesn't exist. We're going to type in a negative sign, and then a regular 2, open parentheses, X minus 4, close the parentheses, a squared sign, and then what?
Plus 3.
Plus 3. And then when you press enter, you should see that you have a different graph that looks reddish.
Oh.
It's red or pink or green or
red.
something.
It's red.
Yep.
Why is it
Yes. Okay, so let's make sure that everything that happened is true because we want to confirm and be able to double check our work. Okay, so Iman, is it upside down? Did it reflect? It's not upside down? The graphs don't look upside down? They don't look like that? Yeah. Is it upside down? Yes? Okay, so it reflected. We know that's right. Elijah, is it more narrow? Why not? Why didn't we do it?
It's narrow.
It's narrow?
Yes.
Okay. Shifted right. Did it shift
Yeah,
right?
it shifted to the right.
All right. And did it go up?
No.
It didn't go up? It didn't look something like this?
Yeah, it did go.
It did? So that means it moved up. You're looking at where the vertex is. So because all of these are true, it proves to you that you can do it in graph and get the exact same answer. So whatever way you like using it, Linnea thinks doing it by hand is too much. Do it in the graph if you like it that way. It's completely up to you. Okay, so we're gonna do it with our whiteboard. So everyone look underneath your desk. You should have a whiteboard and hopefully a marker somewhere behind, like around you, beside you, something. If you are missing a marker, raise your hand, and we're gonna try to find you. Okay, so Samantha, can you look behind you? There should be a marker. Can you pass that to Zach, please?
Give me a marker.
Medina, there's a marker beside you. Can you give me a marker? It's not underneath your desk?
I need another marker.
What's wrong with your marker?
It's fading away.
Miss Bay, I need one.
Can't even see it. And then that's when you put the other
Marker?
the other.
Bend down. My brown? What's wrong with my brown one? All right. So we're going to do a couple together. So remember that there's 4 different types of transformations that can happen. So all the different types of transformations that can happen are on the board. So when it pops up, you guys are going to go ahead and write down everything that you can figure out about it. Every single thing that you can figure out about it.
Okay, what you say?
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Please.
All right, so can someone tell us what we're doing?
We're writing down. We're gonna write down.
Okay, so what specifically are we going to write down though?
The
Shift down, grab, exactly. To make it broad, we're going to write down what happens to the graph. All right, so, yes. Okay. All right, so this is the first equation. Go ahead and figure out all the categories are right here. So use those, is this one not working? Use those ones to help you. And then I'm going to call on random people to tell us what the answer is. Yes, x squared is the parent function. So you're going to type that one and also the new as well. Remember, if you're struggling, I am here to help. So let me know. Whose voice is that? Right, so I'll give you all about 30 more seconds, and we're writing down everything that we noticed that happened. Yes?
For H, when this is left to right, do we look at the graph?
Mhm.
Either left or right?
So left, right.
Okay.
Right, 10 more seconds. No.
We can't see the one.
I'm sorry, my appears to be. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You need 10 more seconds?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. What are you doing? Okay, hold up. Okay, so narrow right up, shift, narrow reflected, narrow shift up, right up. Samantha, put yours down. I'm gonna have you say your answer. Just put down, flip it over so no one can see your answer. No, shift right, up, reflected, wide, narrow, up. Lord, I can't see what that says. I see the number 5. Okay, Samantha did not reflect up, wide. And then narrow, up 5, up, narrow. Okay, most of y'all actually have it. Reflected. Okay, so Samantha, can you tell us what you have on your board? Let's check the right answers.
I put that it narrowed, it shift right 5 units, and it shifted up 5 units.
Right 5
I got all
and up 5. Beautiful. These are all the right answers. If you have anything extra or anything less, this is exactly how it should look. So if you got it, then pat yourself on the back. Good job. Yeah. Y'all actually proud of yourself. Okay, so this is what it should look like. A lot of y'all have the right answers, but I just want to choose one person who usually doesn't speak. Samantha. Okay, so it's the first one.
I don't speak on
Girl.
Telling stories. Okay, so the next one is going to be this one. Let's see how this graph changed. Y'all got it. And as soon as you get your answer, go ahead and write it down. Give you 30 minutes. I'm sorry, okay, 45.
Whoa.
Huh?
I said we still gotta write it down.
Right, 20 seconds. Move out the way so y'all can see. All right, 5, 4, Mississippi, 3, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi, 1, Mississippi. Okay, go ahead and hold your answers.